the academia of the school, ladies and gentlemen, students were the very basis, and all others that are present here. Much has been said about me, and a very small part has been told about the school. However big an institution is bigger than an individual. When the very conceptualization of the school came, and as it stands today, you saw the way they introduced, the way the students performed the musical numbers, the way the chairman spoke, the principal spoke, the very theme of donation that is displayed through various mediums. As you entered the school, the very ambience, they all reflect a very highly developed and disciplined system of things. And therefore one can anticipate that it is the future. One can anticipate that the theme with which we start would be the fructifying in some objective form. Before I speak one or two things about donation of organs, it says you can donate the organs, but what disqualifies people from donating is not there. Because everybody may not be, even if he wishes, cannot donate if he has a certain physical condition. I think future it should be so. I like the disclaimer made by Vijay Sahu. This is the international standardization. In the United States we see this happens. I wish to donate, but I don't know whether I qualify to donate at 66 plus. But very theme, very well put. If it is said when you can I imagine that when I pass off, can I see again this beautiful earth, the flowers, the blossom, the flowers? Yes, perhaps to somebody else's eyes. That is the poetic part of it. But on the ground reality is that if I donate an organ, somebody lives and he can further donate organs. And many lives forms can be sustained. And that is what is the mutual interdependence of human beings. Is this mutual interdependence of various aspects of nature that builds a civilization and makes it healthier. It's most welcome to start SAI International Schools any function with the theme of this dimension. Without starting off with hyperbolic oriental languages about things to come. What we need is deliverables. Go to temple or don't go to temple. Pray or don't pray. Are you delivering something for the good of someone? The matter ends here. I think day before yesterday, I addressed the students and the faculty in the All India Institute of Medical Science. They are starting their new course. I was talking about one thing. I told them, we don't want a God in the sky and space. We want a God here and now. I was telling them that a hungry man, you have so many people of dying, being reported in the newspaper and other media. about people dying without even a morsel of food, instead of praying there or doing Gita, you better give them 2 rotis. At that time he survives because of the 2 rotis. Or give a little medicine. He survives because of little medicine. So if his prayers are listened by God, God will listen to his prayers, he must have converted himself, made this roti and the medicine the medium of his survivability. We have a very wrong idea that God helps through imagined concepts. No. Divinity expresses through direct help. Only point is because we have got some sort of an imagination, we can cut across. So here is a case in which donation is a direct help. Like our gentleman he said his wife, I don't know if his wife is here, we should be seeing her face. If we had given this example, my friend, you should have got that gracious lady also, I would have much appreciated and congratulated her. And all of us would have been standing ovation for the lady. I even do not know what is her good name. Anyway, be as it may. This is a direct example he has given. I have also declared last time from the day that this is not a school, this is an university and we shall have university. And there is no ifs and buts, there is no choice for anyone. As simple as that. The chairman might have thought or not thought. I know he must have thought also. But it will be a university. We'll come with it. All this. We have SAI schools at Moradabad. I'm asking my trust to come up with more schools. Noida, somewhere. I'm not thought over, but it will come up. This is one of the models. We wanted to experiment in a model. This is a very, very successful model, Vijay. Thank you very much for giving the SAI group a model here. I can speak very well on your academics. Student orientation, teacher orientation, subject selection, holistic education, physical education, reading of Ramayana and Gita, but I will do nothing. These are hectic subjects which is done every day. By repetition of many ideas which you don't experience, people lose interest in those subjects. What is necessary, how to live and let live others. If I am not living, I cannot make others let live. The whole real world is about living, not living. So long as my consciousness is there, I am experiencing. I am experiencing you, my consciousness is here. I am experiencing what Vijay sir was telling. I am experiencing this microphone reflecting my voice and echoing here. I am experiencing what Shirdi Sai Baba could be or God. The very ideation of God, the very ideation of self, the very ideations of manifestations of varied ways of what is called God or self is because I am conscious. All these big talks that I am making and that you are listening, because you are conscious and I am conscious. If my consciousness shuts down, I die, or my mortal coil is wound up, or I go to a stage of comatose. Even if I am an organic substance still lying on the bed, I can't communicate and I am not there. So the very concept of God is nothing, whether it is through consciousness or consciousness itself. This is the spiritual science says. It is not only it is a carrier of consciousness, it itself cognizes. Therefore, they said there is a greater consciousness of which we are a part of consciousness, Chetana. And they put it Chit Shakti, some sort of divine power. They use words like Chinmaya and all sorts of words. I forget all this. I can come up with the Vedas, but again I don't want to come because those are, we don't have to understand Vedas to speak Sanskrit. We get small people who talk like this. I cognize, you cognize. If you can't cognize, life form doesn't exist. You are disintegrated. So long as you have the consciousness, experiment with that consciousness. The entire Hindu, Vedic philosophy or spiritual practice of spiritual science, Vijnanamaya Jagatahiti, Vijnanamaya Kusha, was based on individuals sitting at a point, consolidated their body, mind, and just seeing the flow of their consciousness in a method, in a manner to raise it to various regions of thought and brain cell, and thereby expand their spirit, and that is exactly known as spiritualism. Expansion of spirit through consciousness. Whether you worship a temple or not, a deity is not material at all. Because Buddha never did it. He experimented his own consciousness. So that is most important. Now this consciousness says that we have two parts. I was telling somebody. In us there are two parts. One part that we live, the other part that we die. One part we live, and one other part leads to death. One part that we live is what we instinctively or science says through our genetic code propulsions or memory created through our cognitive faculties from childhood is Satpathy and sacrifice. It is not only a social phenomenon to sustain a society. There must be assimilation and giving of each other's best to sustain society. But for the individual self also, it is necessary to see dreams through the other's eyes. And once one has got the taste of making others happy, not that he has to sacrifice much. No, sir. I don't think you want to make others happy. There is a saying in Sanskrit, there was a Sevitapyo Mahadruksha Phalachaya Samannita Yadi Daivat Phalannasti Chaya Yena Nivaryati. Sevitapyo Mahadruksha. Always serve a great tree. Phalachaya Samannita. The individual totally sacrificed for the state. Leviathan could be. The other is, no. Each individual is like an organ, part of the body politic. So, if you put a pin in my finger, the whole body pains. So, if an individual in a state suffers, then the whole body of the state suffers, therefore, it is organistic. The ideal state of Plato or the ideal state of Ramachandra, why you call it Purushottama, go back to your Puranic ideology, ideas. He was believing, if I put it in the modern parlance, is organic theory of state. If one Dhobi or somebody said something, there is a lot of controversy about thinking about mind, but he at least took care rightly or wrongly that nobody should suffer, nobody should have wrong idea. Where I am coming is not that you will necessarily have a state of perfection. It never exists. To the extent possible, every imperfect tries to become little perfect. And that is where God is all about you. God is nothing else, is a perfection state. It has got infinite power. We believe we have infinite power. It is infinite existence, we have finite existence. It is infinite knowledge, we have finite knowledge. It is infinite happiness, ananda, we have finite happiness. If we have finite knowledge, then I have infinite ignorance, reverse side. If I have finite happiness, infinite misery. If I have finite existence, infinite death. So here the individuals are trying from the finiteness to grow through the process of their consciousness, little. To the infinite, they can never be infinite. But this is the process or the dynamics or matrix of evolutionary process of soul, which is the law of nature has ordained. That's all about God and spirituality. Thank you, Vijay. I'm happy to be here. And there are lots of things to be done. And your children, I've seen they're very good. Good children. I must congratulate them, and also the people who are looking after the children, your staff. You must have trained the parents also. The parents are, because the school parents, and they have to, if it is tripod, the child, the school and the students, that's a tripod. In the overall circle of a society, intercutting through various other factors like religion and politics and news and all. They have done very well. Whenever I come for playing tennis. Sometimes they have a good tennis court. And they had a riding, I can ride now. I can ride, but their horses are small. For the children. I feel so natural. Just wait and see those who are here. This is going to be university. And with that message, thank you for giving me a patient hearing. And because when somebody is saying something in your patient, he gets a confirmation, the assurance that whatever he is saying apparently is not wrong, because you are all asleep. This is why bless you, and thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll only, for the benefit of all those who are sitting here, Guruji very nicely stated our statue exactly on that point. This is a personality who plans 20 years ahead can speak. These words I request Guruji to
Shirdi Sai Baba was variedly called as Sai Baba, Sainath. Sai Ram is one of his pet names by which he is called. Sai Ram College of Commerce. God bless you. And you shall have it, no doubts. Because the theme of the very intention being honest, and there is a will to work for the fructification of that intention is the biggest propulsion for getting anything into a life form. The institution will come to a life form, and so the standards of the school is already set. So institution adding on to it as an expansion or as a growth cannot have a lower standard, because a school which will be a feeder school and a college which will be uptake college will have to have the same standards to match. That's what education system is about. This, in some countries, the feeder schools and the universities or colleges have a standardization. The education is modulated from the school level so that they learn enough in a certain manner so that when they go to the university, they're able to pick up as if it was an extension of their earlier curriculum, and not that they are getting into something new which they don't know. Life becomes easier thereafter. I'm very happy to say, because many people are scared of this place one day. You don't know. There is something called a Potia Sapo. This place is called Potia. And somebody had written a book called Potia Sapo. That means a big snake here. There's a book in which the snake is to stand on its tail, 10 feet. people are very afraid. Coming from that level to an institution. Yesterday I was asking someone, what is this area means exactly? I'm happy to know this. Commerce education is very important because when we were studying the Ravansha College, in 1960s, nobody read commerce. Surprisingly. At the time, the priority was on science, maybe on arts for the all India services. Nobody, believe me, read commerce. But today, there is a unity in the world. Economic factor has united world and got some standardization in the world because of sheer growth and future. India has a lot of the number of young people, percentage-wise in the world, one of the highest number of young people in India. At whatever level, management of commerce and economics. So, what you have done is a great thing. Vijay, I must congratulate to your wife and everybody here that you are. This is forecasting actually. This is forecasting. If this is forecasting, you will have this, and then you will also have students coming from outside. You will have international students exchange programs. All this will follow. Just take it from me. That our people who are creating this for us must have the talent and the imagination to pick us up and put us in the hills top. Thank you very much, bless you, I bless you.